Well, hello everybody, and welcome to Vinyl Treasures. I'm your host, Johnny G. John Galindo, coming to you live each and every Saturday, only here on Top Shelf Oldies. Want to welcome you to the last show of the year, December 30th, 2017. That is the last Vinyl Treasure show for this year, and it's an all 60s edition, 1964 and later original vinyl 45s out of my collection. I have a little bit of a cold, so having a tough time this week. Very busy week as we close the year in the company that so it's very busy, but I'm here for the next 2 hours. Got some cool 45s from the 1960s, opened up on the Review label out of Hollywood, California. B-side, instrumental by Johnny and the Mark V. It's called Down the Pike. Now, the A-side was a vocal called Sands of Malibu, which first came out on the Chare label, and Review picked it up. It was 1968 on Chare, picked up in 1969 on Review. October 69, Johnny and the Mark V, Down the Pike on the Review label. Well, enough of my babbling here. Let's kick off this pre-New Year's Eve show. Here we open up the vocal portion of the 60s edition with a group from Providence, Rhode Island. I posted this one up on my Facebook wall, just did it last minute, that they signed with Capitol Records in 1967, released their first single. It was called I Know the Inside Story, and it came out as Chubby and the Turnpikes. Now, with their follow-up single, they were just known as the Turnpikes. It features Antone Lee Tavares on lead. We go to July 1968, the opener by the Turnpikes on Capitol. The song is called Cast a Spell. Yeah, those are the Turnpikes. I don't like to drive on the New Jersey Turnpike, but those are the Turnpikes there from July 1968. Cast a Spell is the name of the tune. It's on the Capitol record label. Now, this group, they would go on to record as Tavares in the 1970s, do those cool kind of disco-y kind of soul records there, but a great group there, the Turnpikes. Johnny G here for an all 60s edition of the Vinyl Treasure Show. It's our last show of the year. Let's continue here. This girl group out of Detroit, Michigan. It's on Ed Wingate's Golden World label. The group is comprised of Joy Vincent, Dorothy Garland, Elsie Baker, and 15-year-old lead singer. Her name is Diane Hogan. Collectively, they were known as the Debonaires. This one from January 1960. 1966. It's on the Golden World label, the Debonaires with their tune. It's called How's Your New Love Treating You? Girl group sounds here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. They're called the Debonaires. January 1966, How's Your New Love Treating You? That's on the Golden World record label, one of the thousands of labels that I do collect, and have a few Golden Worlds if I get to them all tonight. Now, they would follow this up with another on the Revelot label in 1966. They have two more on the Solid Hit label. Johnny G loves the girl groups, and so my top show on my YouTube website is the girl group special I did a number of years ago. A lot of people tuned in to that one there, so I'm going to have to do another one. Got a lot of great girl groups out of my collection. Well, let's continue here. We stay in 1966, although this next singer from Philadelphia made his debut back in 1959 on the Lancer label, and it wasn't until 1966 that he would have his second release, and it's a song he wrote. His name is Reuben Wright, and this is the intended B-side of the 45. We go back to February 1966, back to the Capitol label for Reuben Wright and his tune called Hey Girl.
Hey girl, what's your name? Hey girl, you with that fine little frame. Hey girl, let me have this thing. You really, really fine now. Tell me, do I stand a chance? Hey girl, I'm so glad I caught your eye. And all I wanna know, baby, do you have a special guy. And hey, if not, then please tell me so. I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't intend to let you go. Oh, I started not to come out to the dance tonight. I'm so glad the fellas changed my mind. You've been standing in the corner since a quarter nine, and I haven't seen nobody at your side. Hey, girl, can I take you home? Hey, girl, I see you leaving alone. Yes, you are. And hey, girl, maybe I'll change your name if I ever lose you, baby. If I ever lose you, if I ever lose you, baby. Oh, I'll never be the same. You're driving me crazy, baby.
B-sides, as Johnny G gets caught. B-sides here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Actually, both sides of that 45 are pretty good, too. Reuben Wright there, February 1966. Hey Girl is the name of the tune. Came out on the Capitol record banner. As we continue here, here's a flip side from an earlier 60s edition. Played the B-side of this 45, but this great group out of Los Angeles, California. I know many of you are familiar with the group called the Superbs. It's on Lou Bedell's Doré label. The song was called Goddess of Love. It featured Bobby Swain was doing lead on that side, but he had already left the group by the time this 45 was released. Now, the female of the group, she also left at this time. Her name was Eleanor Green, and there was kind of a new group of Superbs and a new lead singer that is singing on the side that I am featuring. His name is Lawrence Dickens. He became the new lead of the Superbs. This one from October 1965, the Superbs on Doré. The song is called He Broke a Young Girl's Heart.
We find the defendant guilty as charged.
With the powers vested in me, I now pronounce you man and wife.
That's a soulful doo-wop there. Soulful doo-wop by the Superbs, October 1965. Lawrence Dickens, he's the lead singer of the group around 1965. He broke a young girl's heart. That one's on the Dore label. This was their 10th release on the Dore label. Lots of their records go for some big bucks, that's for sure. John G here for a Saturday evening, spinning 1960s 45s. This next singer's from Blythedale, Arkansas. Originally began singing with a group known as the Cool Gents in the 1950s. Had a couple of great 45s on Vivian Carter's VJ record label, and that I really do like. Then in 1958, he went solo with a string of hits on the Falcon and Abner label, and his biggest solo hit was a 1961 effort on VJ Records. I'm sure you're familiar with the tune called Raindrops. Now, after VJ, he signed with Constellation Records, and actually I think they're a division of Shepherd owns Constellation. But anyway, this is his 9th and final release on Constellation from August of 66, Mr. D. Clark. D. Clark on Constellation. The tune is called Old Fashioned Love.
Oh, give me that old-fashioned love. Give me that old-fashioned love. Give me that old-fashioned love. Oh, it's good enough for me. Give me that old-fashioned love. Give me that old-fashioned love. Give me that old-fashioned love. Ooh, it's good enough for me. We used to play cowboy way across the rail.
August 66 release there for Mr. D. Clark. D. Clark on the Constellation label. Old Fashioned Love. It's actually spelled old is O-L-E, and he spells fashion F-A-S-H-U-N. Old Fashioned Love. That one there on the Constellation label. Unfortunately, he passed away December 7th. Way back in 1990, he was only 52 years old, died of a heart attack, but left us with some great sounds. John G here for a Saturday evening. It's the last Saturday of the year, the last Vinyl Treasure show of the year, and have a little bit of a head cold here, but we'll continue here. And here's a flip side from the last 60s show. It's on the Cool School label out of Detroit, Michigan. I featured Don Hart and the Five. They spelled Five F-Y-V-E, and the The A-side of their release that I featured was called Soldier Coming Home. The B-side is another soulful ballad written by Don Equihart, who shortened his name, of course, to Don Hart. Now, he's the lead. This is Don Hart and the Five from late 1967. It's the Cool School label. The tune is called I Can Make It.
He can make it. He can make it. He can make it. Make it, make it, make it true. I've tried and tried with all my heart, but everything I try, oh baby, I just don't seem to turn out right. But with your love, he can make it. I can make it. He can make it. Oh baby, he can make it. I can make it. He can make it. Oh, I said all the way. Hey, but without your sweet loving, love don't mean a thing. But with your love, he can make it. I can make it. He can make it. Make it. He can make it. I can make it. He can make it. Oh, I said all the way. Hey, whoa. Make it. I've tried and tried to make it all alone. But everything I try, oh baby, don't you know, it just seems to turn out wrong. But I know with your love, he can make it. I can make it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So listen, my baby. Hear what I say. With your sweet loving, I can make it all the way. With your love, he can make it. I can make it. He can make it. Oh baby, he can make it. I can make it. He can make it. Baby, baby, oh baby, he can make it. I can make it. He can make it. He can make it, baby. He can make it. Oh baby, he can make it. I can make it.
We'll send that one out to Bopper Boy Warren, currently in the Top Shelf Oldies shop. He likes those soulful ballads just like Johnny G does. That's Don Hart and the Five, late 1967 release on the Cool School label. I Can Make It. That's the cool tune here. Johnny G can make it every Saturday right here on Top Shelf Oldies. Let's continue. This female singer, we go back to Detroit, Michigan. Began recording in 1960 for ABC Paramount Records. Her real name is Anna Jean Harris, but we know her as Jean Duchon. She has a bunch of releases on different labels: Atco, OK, Lennox, Argo and Cadet. I think Argo did become Cadet Records. Now, this is her fourth and final release on Cadet, arranged by Bert Keys. Bert Keys goes back to the 1950s. He was associated with George Goldner on the Rama label back in 1953 as a band leader, but here he is arranging this tune from November 1966. Jean Duchamp on Cadet, and her tune called As I Watch You Walk Away.
There is nothing I can do. There is nothing I can say. Though you take my heart with you, I must watch you walk away. Clouds of sorrow fill the sky, and the sun deserts the day. Only tears upon my eyes as I watch you walk away. Never, never, never to hold you close again. I can't bear the thought of living without you. You can hurt me if you will. I will love you, come what may. I will cling to you until I must watch you walk away. I know, I know, I know someone is waiting to take your love from me. I know, someone is waiting to take you in her arms. I can't bear the thought of one kissing you. There is nothing I can do. There is nothing I can say. Then you take my heart with you. I must watch you walk away. I must watch you walk away. Darling, how I wish you would stay, but I must watch you walk away. I must watch you walk.
Yes, Warren, powerful vocals there. That's a great tune. I like that one. Jean Duchamp's her name, November 1966 release, As I Watch You Walk Away. That's the name of that one on the Cadet record label. That's a cool tune. She has a good one on the Lennox label if you don't have that one. That's also another one too. Johnny G here for a Saturday evening. Where are you going to hear these tunes? You're not going to hear a lot of hits on the Vinyl Treasure Show, although I do have one coming up later. You know I rarely feature hits, especially number one hits, but I will tonight. Now let's continue here. Here's another 45 a flip side that I played on the last 60s show. It was on the Miss Hemisphere label. Really didn't know much about this record at all. I'm guessing it's out of Philadelphia, PA, only because in the Dead Wax it mentions Virtue, that's etched in the Dead Wax. It means it was recorded at Virtue Recording Studios located in Philadelphia, PA. Now, the gal singer goes by the name of Lydia O'Connor, and I featured the A-side on the last 60 show. It was called Trouble Child. Well, let's flip it over here and give a listen to the B-side here before I file it back down in the No Humidity basement. It's from 1967, written by Jimmy Cox. There's no writer on the flip side, on the A side, but her name is Lydia O'Connor. It's Miss Hemisphere Records, and the song is called Nobody Wants You When You're Down and Out.
And in your pocket, not a penny. And as for friends, you don't have any.
not a penny. And as for her friends, you don't have any. And in your pocket.
Well, Jeff mentions in chat that a lot of people recorded that song, mentions that he has a version by the Spencer Davis Group, Steve Winwood doing lead on that one. That's a cool version here by Lydia O'Connor, 1967, Nobody Wants You, parentheses, When You're Down and Out. That's on the Miss Hemisphere record label. But we want you here on Top Shelf Oldies when you're down and out. Hopefully this music cheering you up, and you don't hear a lot of these songs on the normal radio airwaves, that is for sure. So let's continue here, and here's another singer we recently lost from Philadelphia, PA, Mr. Bunny Siegler. He died October 6th of 2017, passed away from a heart attack, but he was 76 years old. Started recording back in 1958 on the Hilo label, and Johnny Madera and David White produced 3 records for him while signed to the Decca label, and here is the B-side to his first of 3. This one arranged by Jimmy Wisner, written by John Madera, David White, and Leonard Borisoff, a.k.a. Len Barry. This one from December 1965, Bunny Siegler on Decca. The tune is called For Crying Out Loud.
I once was a clown, did shows in each town, but now I have lost my job 'cause my boss put me down. Wow, for crying out loud, oh baby, for crying out loud. I used to be happy, and snappy, but the cheers turn to tears. I no longer appear for the crowd. Wow, for crying out loud. Well, Lord, I've been crying out loud. See the girl on the flying trapeze. Hey, 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 she used to belong to me. Now she's flying high with another guy, and all I can do is just cry, cry, I'm no longer funny. My makeup is running. The tears have replaced this pain on my face with a frown. Wow, for crying out loud. Oh Lord, I've been crying out loud. Can anybody use a clown? Oh, 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 I've been crying. Hey, 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 too much crying.
I wonder if Len Barry recorded that one too. It just sounds like it would be a Len Barry tune also. But that's Bunny Siegler there, December 1965. It's on the Decca label. The B-side to his first of 3 on the Decca label, For Crying Out Loud is the name of that one. As I mentioned, on the Decca label. Johnny G here for a Saturday evening. It's all 1960s. We do it the last Saturday of the month. Special note, though, I will be doing a program filling in for Ramtown Mike on, I think, Wednesday, January 24th. It'll be another 60s edition. I'll be on from 9 to midnight there. I don't think I'll be working on the accounting close by that time, but you never know. But anyway, so I plan on being here filling in for Ramtown Mike, and I think Ramtown Mike will be filling in tomorrow evening for Dave the Rave from 9 to midnight. So tune in and ring in the year tomorrow here on Top Shelf Oldies with Ramtown Mike tomorrow evening. Johnny G here for a Saturday evening. We are continuing continuing with the 1960s, was going through a box of a bunch of Dunhill 45s and saw this early Dunhill release, Dunhill number 4003, by a group called the Ginger Snaps. Now, I make it a point to listen to any record that mentions produced or written by P.F. Sloan and Steve Barry, which is on this 45. And it features Dandy Dawson on lead, a female by the name of Dandy Dawson, a.k.a. her real name is Dolores Donaldson. So she is the lead, and supposedly the Blossoms are backing her up on this one. They're providing the background singing. Let's go to May of 65 for the Ginger Snaps. The Ginger Snaps on Dunhill, and the tune is called I've Got Faith in Him.
Everybody says he's just a lazy guy, and he may never make it even if he try. They think that he's a runaround, but they don't know that boy the way I do. And I've got faith in him. Oh, I've got faith in him. Yeah, he'll make it. I know he can. He'll be a big, big man. Oh, yes. I know he doesn't drive a great big shiny car. I've got faith, and he may never be a famous movie star. He's closing up the fine star, but to my eyes he's always looking good. And I've got faith in him. Oh, I've got faith in him. Yes, he'll make it. I know he can. He'll be a big, big man. Yes. People say I can do better. Find a boy who'll never make me blue. But I'm just living for the day when I can stand right by his side and say I do love you. They think that he's a runaround, but they don't know that boy the way I do. And I've got faith in him. Oh, I've got faith in him. Yes, he'll make it. I know he can. He'll be a big, big man. Oh, yes. He'll be a big, big man. 'Cause I've got my faith. He'll be a big, big man. 'Cause I've got my faith. He'll be a big, big man.
May 65 release there. They're called the Ginger Snaps. Ginger Snaps, it features Dolores Donaldson on lead. If you check the label, it says Dandy Dawson, that she's the lead, but really Dolores Donaldson, that one there. The Ginger Snaps on the Dunhill label. I've Got Faith in Him is the name of that one. Bopper Boy Warren has this 45 also. Mine is a styrene promo that plays pretty, not bad really, but I prefer the hard vinyl presses. Yes, I do when it comes to Dunhill 45s. Johnny G here for a Saturday evening doing 1960s here. We continue here. Let's go back to Los Angeles, California to the Crusader label for this one. This is a duo known as Kip and Ken, and I have the I have the A-side of their first of two on the Crusader label, and it's a cover song. Was first done in 1963 on the Sue label by the Camptown Singers, but this is a cover by a duo by the name of Kip and Ken. And this one charted regionally, was a big number 9 on WLS out of Chicago, Illinois. We go back to July of 65 on Crusader Records, Kip and Ken, and a cover, a song called Trouble with a Woman. That's on the Crusader label, the same Crusader label. The biggest hit was a song called Suspicion by Terry Stafford. That one, though, a big hit in Chicago, Illinois, number 9 for Kip and Ken. July 1965 release, Trouble with a Woman. You don't want to have any trouble with a woman. That is definitely, that's the Johnny G advice to you, the guys out there. As we continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show, we heard, mentioned Jimmy Wisner produced that Bunny Siegler tune. Well, he's back for this one. An oddball tune here, though, on the 20th Century Fox label. And it's a cover song, first recorded by The Who back in 1964 on the Decca label, but this group is from Greensburg, Pennsylvania, and the song, as I mentioned, arranged and produced by Jimmy Wisner. We go to November of 1966 for the Napoleonic Wars. That's the name of the group, the Napoleonic Wars. It's on 20th Century Fox, and give a listen to their rendition of The Who's tune, I Can't Explain It.
Say, feel what I say, girl.
Cover tunes here on the 60s edition of the Vinyl Treasures Show. North Dakota Bob loves that cover. Never heard that tune there by the Napoleonic Wars is the name of the group, November 1966, covering the Who's song, I Can't Explain. Well, isn't the Who's called I Can't Explain? This one says I Can't Explain It. Is that on the Decca release? I don't know. It's on 20th Century Fox, and this one arranged and produced by Jimmy Wisner. So if you collect Jimmy Wisner, you better check out that one. That's on the 20th Century Fox label. They have an earlier release on the Hunch label also. It's the same group. Johnny G here for a Saturday evening. Let's continue here. Now, many people consider this next band from Los Angeles, California to be a one-hit wonder. Now, my thinking is that if you even have a local hit, you can't be considered a one-hit wonder. That's what I say, which is the case with this band, which first recorded as the Giant Sunflower on the Take 6 label, and that record was picked up by the Ode label. Then they added a gal lead. Her name was Diana DeRose, who left a Parksburg, West Virginia after graduating from high school as she traveled west for fame and fortune. And the group then became the Rose Garden, and they had a number 17 Billboard hit, number 15 Cashbox hit. Very good tune, a 45 my aunt purchased back in 1967 or 68 called Next Plane to London, written by Kenny Gist Jr., who would change his name to Kenny Odell. And Kenny Odell, also a singer, and you know he wrote and recorded Beautiful People. He also wrote the Rose Garden's follow-up song to Next Plane to London, which was a big number 9 on KGGF in Coffeesville, Kansas. This one charted number 9 in Coffeesville, Kansas. We go to March of 1968 for the Rose Garden, their follow-up to Next Plane to London. This is on the Atco label. It features Diana DeRose on lead. The song is called If My World Falls Through.
If my world falls through, blame it on you. And if my sun goes down, it's because you're not around. Never realized just how much dependent on beauty is my troubled mind. Wanting you so when all it does is grow. If my world falls through, blame it on you. Blame it on you. If my sun goes down, it's because you're not around. I can't take a chance on castles made of sand. You got to guarantee you're gonna stay by me. You know what's on my mind. Just give me a sign. Tell me you're lying, I'll believe what you say. The only thing I'm begging you is please don't send me away. Don't send me away. My world falls through. My world falls through.
That's the Rose Garden. The Rose Garden with Diana DeRose on lead there. That one there recorded at Gold Star Studios in Los Angeles, California. The follow-up to Next Plane to London, If My World Falls Through, tune written by Kenny Odell, March 1968 on the Atco record label. Let's continue here for a group from Brooklyn, New York, who were the house band for the famous Cafe Wha. Did I pronounce that right? W-H-A. If anybody's familiar with that cafe in Greenwich Village, they were the house band back in 1967, and here is their debut single on the Smash record label, the first of three, written by group members Dave and Michael Jimenez. This one from March of 1967. They're called The Raves on Smash. The tune is called Mother Nature.
All your toys are broken down. All your dreams are tossed around. Not happy with what you see. Now you wanna try to break me. Mother Nature, turn me to a tree. My roots tied to the ground. A tree she cannot see. Mother Nature, when she passes by, turn me to a bird, so faster I can
March 1966 release there. The song is called Mother Nature. Talking about Mother Nature, we had temperatures here in the tri-state area, New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut, of 7 degrees. 7 and 8 degrees for about the last 3 days. I think today was a heat wave at like 23 degrees or so, and we had a kind of like a mini snowstorm here at Westchester County, but I didn't even get a chance to go out, and it's a dusting though. It's really cold. Had to start the car this afternoon. Barbara was here helping me with work. I was researching the show, but really cold temperatures. I don't know if anybody's going to be standing out to watch the ball drop tomorrow, but anyway, that's March 1967. The Raves on Smash. The first of three, a song called Mother Nature. And speaking of raves, Dave the Rave will not be on tomorrow evening from 9 to midnight. Ramtown Mike, because of the cold temperatures in Tennessee, he is not going out, and his wife Barb is feeling under the weather, so he'll be filling in tomorrow for a Rockin' New Year's Eve party here on Top Shelf Oldies. The other side of Ramtown tomorrow from 9 to midnight right here on Top Shelf Oldies. Let's continue here. Up next, a band from from Harrow, England. And I said there, Harrow, England, Harro, England. They debuted in the late 1966 on Warner Brothers Records here in the U.S. I'm featuring their second U.S. release. It's on the Compass label. Mine is a one-sided promo. It's actually a cover tune recorded in 1962 by the Canadian folk singer Bonnie Dobson. The band I'm playing is called the Episode 6, and there are dual leads here, Ian Gillian and Sheila Carter. This one charted number 18 on KFXM in San Bernardino, California. We go to June 1967. Give a listen to the Episode 6. It's on Compass. The tune is called Morning Dew.
Walk me out in the morning dew, my honey. Walk me out in the morning dew today.
Can walk you out in the morning dew, my honey.
They can't walk you out in the morning dew at all. Thought I heard a young girl crying, mama. Thought I heard a young girl cry today. You didn't hear no young girl crying, mama. You didn't hear no young girl cry at all. You've been crying, mama. Thought I heard you've been crying today. You didn't hear no young man crying. You didn't hear no young man crying. Now there's no more morning dew. Now there's no more morning dew.
What they were saying all these years was true.
'Cause there's no more morning dew. Now there's no morning dew. Now there's no morning dew at all. What they were saying all these years was true. Now there's no morning dew. Now there's no
June 1967 release there. They're called the Episode 6. Episode 6 on the Compass record label. Their tune called Morning Dew. Now, they had two more releases on Electra and Chapter 1, and Roger Glover was a member of this group, and he left to form Deep Purple in 1969. And I think Jeff mentions that the Grateful Dead do a great version of this on their first album. Very interesting for that. But that tune called Morning Dew. No morning dew here in the New York area. If anything, it's going to turn to black ice. So be careful out there, those of you driving around out there on the roads. Let's continue here. This next singer, he was born Robin Peter Smith in Swanley, Kent, England. And his signature song was in 1966, a song I really like. It was called The Pied Piper, came out on the Jamie label, and in all he had 9 releases, believe it or not, on the Jamie label. Here is his 9th and final one, which charted regionally, number 17 on WIMN out of Denver, Colorado. This one from October 1967. Crispian St. Peter's is his name. It's on the Jamie label. Give a listen to his tune. It's called Free Spirit.
Don't put her down, 'cause she wants the best from everyone. Don't think her bad, 'cause she does what isn't always done. She only wants to live, she wants to get and give all that she can. That's her plan. She's a free spirit. She comes on to everyone. Free spirit. She comes on to everyone. I must be a fool to hang around. I say to you, you must be a drag to put her down. Life is groovy now, because she showed me how it has to be. You've gotta live it free. She's a free spirit. She comes on to everyone. Free spirit. She comes on to everyone. She's a free spirit. She comes on to everyone. Free spirit. She comes on to everyone.
That is the last single for Crispy and St. Peter's on the Jamie record label. His ninth and final release, October 1967, Free Spirit. That's what we try to be here on Saturday evenings on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Let's continue now. And this next artist, born in Santa Monica, California, I remember seeing him on the hit TV show Here Comes the Brides, and he was a regular on ABC's Shindig, and he released 23 singles and 10 albums between 1962 and 1976. He earned 7 gold singles, 1 platinum single, and 5 gold albums. And I'm talking about Robert Cabot Sherman Jr. And his biggest hit was one of the first 245s I ever bought. If you know a tune called Little Woman that came out on Metro Media in 1969, I bought that 45 along with the Archies Sugar Sugar in was Sears and Roebuck in White Plains, New York. Those were the two first 45s I bought on my own. All the other records prior to that, I was with my aunt in a record store in White Plains and bought some cool records from the 60s with her, that is for sure. But here's one he had on the Decca label, co-written and produced by Gary Usher, and this came with a cool picture sleeve, kind of advertising his being on the Shindig program. And this one bubbled under at number 118, but was a big number 18 on WOLF out of Syracuse, New York. Let's go to January 1965. Bobby Sherman on the Decca record banner, and his tune called Hey Little Girl.
I'll never smile again unless
note, I said the wrong two. While Charlene is blaming herself, my administrative assistant, Charlene, you can't blame yourself. I mean, my show today was really crammed into a few hours there, but that one there is called It Hurts Me. That is the side I really wanted to play. Just a typo on the list here, but they like that tune there anyway, and so do I. January 1965, we'll send it out to Charlene Whiteside, my administrative assistant over in Huntsville, Texas. Bobby Sherman, It Hurts Me on the Decca record label. And so anyway, that's the side that bubbled under anyway. As we continue here for our pre-New Year's Eve show, the last show of the year here on Top Shelf Oldies. Let's continue. This is a girl group. Actually, this girl group formed at Farmingdale High School in Long Island, New York. They had this one release on Bob Crew's Dynavoice label. They were called the Little Bits, not to be confused with an earlier garage group by the same name from Jennings, Louisiana. But this is a cover song originally recorded by Frankie Valli, but people mostly know this tune, are more familiar with the cover song done by the Walker Brothers. But let's give a listen to this version by the Little Bits, they're called. It features Carol Mann on lead, written by Bob Crew and Bob Gaudio, June 68 on Dynavoice Records, their rendition of the song The Sun Ain't Gonna Shine Anymore.
Deep shade of blue
Cover tunes here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. The Little Bits is the name of the group. It features Carol Mann. She spells her name K-A-R-Y-L. Carol Mann, her rendition of the Sun Ain't Gonna Shine Anymore is from June 1968 on the Dynavoice record label. Gotta welcome Rich Sabello into the Top Shelf Oldies chat room, and I counted Global Dog. They give a quick listing of the releases or all the releases on one specific label, but you really got to be careful on some of these lists, and Rich says there were 10 singles by Crispy and St. Peter's, and I counted 9, but they mess up constantly. And Rich, a collector too, he collects 78s of rare 50s vocal groups, has quite a bit. And I know Rich, a collector from New Jersey, we've been to a couple record parties together. I got to get over to that Friday evening thing over in Hackensack. And who wanted me to go. George Duop Tompkins wanted me to go there on a Saturday. But I was spending time with Barbara on Friday night. I think it's last Friday of the month or something. One Friday every month they have that. I got to get over there. But Rich is a big collector and of 45s. I think 50s and 60s. But he has some cool 78s. I know that for a fact. So I want to welcome him into the Top Shelf Oldies chat room. Let's continue here. It's my all 1960s show. We do it the last Saturday of every month, only 60s 45s, post-Beatle 45s. I actually have one from 1970 coming up, really. But anyway, let's continue on an earlier 60s show. I played a 45 by this singer by the name of Lee Davey. Really couldn't find any info on him. I played the intended B-side of the 45. It was called Yeah, Look at This Love. But let's give a spin to the A-side of the 45 before I file it back down in the No Humidity basement. It's on Don Costa's DCP International label. His name is Lee Davey. It's from January 1965. It's called I Won't Stop You.
If you want to leave me, it's alright. If you're sure you love him, go hold him tight. I'll never stand in your way. Go on, my darling, and play. I won't stop you. I won't even try. If you change your mind and want to go, I won't interfere, though I love you so. I had my chance with you. Now you love somebody new, and I won't stop you. I won't even try. Oh no, I won't stop you. I won't even try. You say not to cry, find someone new. And you say you're sorry that we are through. It's not the same as before. I won't take you back anymore. I won't stop you. I won't even try. Oh no, I won't stop you. I won't even try. This time I won't stop you. I won't even try. Oh no.
January 1965 release there. Lee Davies' his name. I think that's his only release. I Won't Stop You came out on the DCP International label, Don Costa's label, another of the thousands of labels your host Johnny G collects as I babble on here for a Saturday evening. Can't tell you much about this next group except they had 12 releases on the Laurie record label, and their releases span 1968 through 1973. And I mentioned to you we have a touch of the 70s. Well, this is that record from the 1970s. And the weird thing about this Laurie release is that one side is mono and the other side is stereo. This is a promo vinyl copy here on this Laurie release. I'm playing the stereo side, which is the plug side. It's got the star on this side, and the writers are Schwartz, Maresca, Greenberg, and John Abbott, who produced the 45. So this is their 7th of 12 on Laurie. They're called The Yellow Brick Road. It's from 1970, and the name of the tune is called The Secret.
You say love's a hurting thing, you'd rather make it stay. That guys only have one thing in mind, and it's nothing but a drag. You wanna laugh that's all your own, and not just filled with lies. You say no guy's gonna mess your mind around, no matter what he tries. But I've got a secret, so don't make a sound. I'm coming to get you, gonna spin you around. The temperature's rising, you feel you're coming apart. Now that you know, girl, are you ready to start? I think you're gonna find, girl, that love's not a hurting thing. Get yourself involved, girl. You never know what love will bring. You may think you're so different, no one's gonna get to you. 'Cause every other guy tried to turn you on, just didn't know what to do. But I've got a secret, so don't make a sound. I'm coming to get you, gonna spin you around. The temperature's rising, you feel you're coming apart. Now that you know, girl, are you ready to start? Oh, I got a secret, oh, I'm telling you, don't make a sound. Don't you know that I'm coming to get you? Yeah, gonna spin you around now. Oh, I'm gonna tell you I got a secret, oh, I'm telling you, don't make a sound. Don't you know that I'm coming to get you? Yeah, spin you
A group called the Yellow Brick Road. It sounds like a Tommy James record to me. That's what it sounds like. It's from sometime in 1970. It's on Laurie Records. It's called The Secret. Now, the interesting thing is, I don't know if this group was a studio group for Laurie. Maybe I don't think they really had many hits in the 70s. But the flip side. If you listen to the flip side, remember I told you the first two records that I bought was that Bobby Sherman record, and I bought the Archies record. Well, listen, I'll just play a little bit of the flip side of the record, and you tell me what it sounds like. It's called, let me see, it's called My Little Donna is the name of the song. But listen to what it sounds like.
Donna,
Yes, Alex, good thing that Tim isn't there. But if that doesn't sound like Sugar Sugar, I don't know. I don't know what. Well, no, I like the record. I do. Anyway, I thought, whoops, that's not good. Anyway, I thought I'd play a little bit of that side. But anyway, if you like that record, I'll play it on the next 60s show. You let Johnny G know. Johnny G here for a Saturday evening spinning original vinyl 45s. We do it every Saturday from 10 to midnight. This is the last show of 2017. It's an all 60s edition, and let's continue here. And I have to thank my high school friend Robert Neal of Florida for reminding me that two former members of the Monkees have birthdays on the same day. One, of course, is deceased, that being Davy Jones. The other is still active and alive, that being Michael Nesmith. And he suggested I play a song on tonight's 60s show to commemorate their birthdays. Now, Barbara, my girlfriend, was here today actually helping me do some accounting work. I was showing her how to work on some Excel schedules, and I was researching the show, and she was working there on the other side of the room. And I asked her, I said, what was her favorite Davy Jones song? Because I could feature it tonight on the 60s edition. And she picked this one, and it happens to be one of my favorites too. And this was a national #1 record on both Billboard and Cashbox. And you know I rarely play hits on the Vinyl Treasure Show, if not play #1 records. But in this case, I am. And actually, Dave the Rave played this one last Sunday evening. I was listening to Dave the Rave, and he played this one. But Davy Jones, he would have been 72 today. And it's unfortunate that he passed away well before his time. But we're going to play this on behalf of Davy Jones, and it's a great tune, I think it is. It's from October 1967. As we go to the Cold Gems record label, I'm going to send it out to my girlfriend Barbara because she loves this song by the Monkees, and the late Davy Jones on lead. A great record, a song called Daydream Believer.
7A.
What number is this, Chip?
7A.
Okay, no, don't get excited, man. It's because I'm short, I know.
Oh, I could hide neath the wings of the bluebird as she sings. The 6 o'clock alarm would never ring, but it rings and I rise, wipe the sleep out of my eyes. My shaven razor's cold and it stings. Me
Hits here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. October 1967 release there. The Monkees, the late Davy Jones on lead. He would have been 72 today. Daydream Believer on the Cold Gems record label. Send it out to my girlfriend, Barbara, who loves that tune there. And so Jeff mentioned to me also Del Shannon. Also, today is his birthday. He would have been 83 today. I wish I had a Del Shannon 45 hanging around here. I would have featured that one. But anyway, remember, two group members have birthdays on the same day. How odd is that? Now, the other Monkee member, of course, with his birthday today, Michael Nesmith. His birthday is today. He is 77 today and still going strong. So I quickly had to run down to the No Humidity basement because I don't know where my other Monkee mint singles are. So I said, do I have anything filed under Cold Gems? The records in the shelving in the basement are filed by label. The ones that are cleaned and whatnot in my main collection are by artists. So I pulled, there was like the Lewis and Clark Expedition and a whole bunch of other things in there. But I found this one that Michael is doing lead on, and he wrote the tune, and it came out in April of 1969, and it charted nationally, but only at number 63 on Billboard, but it was a big number 2 on WRBC in Jackson, Mississippi, also number 8 on WSGN in Birmingham, Alabama. So the South really loved this song by the Monkees. So let's give it a spin. Written by a birthday boy, Michael Nesmith, and it's from April of 69. The Monkees on Cold Gems, and the tune is called Listen to the Band.
Hey, hey, mercy, woman plays a song and no one listens. I need help, I'm falling again. Play the drum a little louder, tell me I can live without her if I only listen to the band. Listen to the band. Weren't they good that made me happy? I think I can make it alone. Oh, mercy, woman plays a song and no one listens. I need help, I'm falling again. Play the drum a little bit louder, tell them they can live without her if they only listen to the band. Listen to the band. Now weren't they good, they made me happy, I think I can make it alone. Oh, woman plays a song and no one listens. I need help, I'm falling again. Come on, play the drums just a little bit louder, tell us we can live without her now that we have listened to the band. Listen to the band.
Rich Sabello mentions in chat that no, even though it says the Monkees, no other Monkees associated with that recording there. It's all Michael Nesmith. He wrote the tune, and that's only him on the record, but again, it gives credit to the Monkees. April 1969, Listen to the Band is the name of the tune. It's on the Cold Gems record. We'll have to send it out to my high school buddy, Robert Neal, listening down in Florida. Johnny G here for a Saturday evening. It's my all 1960s edition of the Vinyl Treasure Show. Here's a 45 on Burt Burns' Bang label. Gotta check out that movie. Is it on a DVD yet? I don't even know because I haven't seen it. I was told it was a great documentary to go check it out, so I haven't seen it yet. This is on his label, Bang Records, the song written by Richie Adams. Now, Richie Adams, previously the lead singer of the Fireflies and Jerry Ragavoy, he also produced it. The group is out of New York City. It's their only release. We go back to May of 1966 for Lance Fox and the Bloodhounds. It's on the Bang label. The tune is called That's Your Problem, It Ain't Mine.
I will be your
Dave the Rave says they were from northern New Jersey. We'll say that. That's close enough because I work in Newark, so that can't really be considered northern New Jersey, but it's not that far. No, it isn't. So we'll say they're from northern New Jersey, and that's a cool tune. They like that one there on the Top Shelf Foley Chap. May 1966. It's on the Bang label. Nice mint promo vinyl, the way I like to get the records. Lance Fox and the Bloodhounds. That's a cool name, too. That's Your Problem, It Ain't Mine. Well, no, it's really my problem if I have some scratchy records, but I try not to. Try to get everything in mint, but it's kind of difficult, especially with those old 50s records. It's hard to find mint stock records, but now that some of the stuff has been available because some of the collectors are passing away, so a lot of their records are becoming available. Unfortunately, you don't want to get them that way. But anyway, let's continue here, and really love this next record. I have to thank Dave the Rave for turning me on to this next 45 by this quartet from Asbury Park, New Jersey. They initially recorded as the Uniques on the Selsum label, but then they changed their name to the Broadways, and this is their second of two on the MGM record label. It features Billy Brown on lead. This was number 13 on WJGM out of Cleveland, Ohio. We go back to August of 1966, a great record that I danced with Barbara up here in the attic. We tried to today. She's not feeling so well, but I still try to. These are the Broadways on MGM with their cool tune. It's called You Just Don't Know.
Just can't be found.
That is definitely a cool tune. A great record to dance to. That's my speed. That is for sure. Those are the Broadways, August 1966. You Just Don't Know. That one there on the MGM record label. The second of two they recorded on MGM. And, of course, that is Billy Brown. He's the lead. He would later join the Moments on the Stang label. Then after that, he became a member of Ray Goodman and Brown back in 1980. I remember buying that. Well, actually, I didn't buy the 45 special later. I used to pick up the promo, like with the long version, the short version. The last record that I ever purchased, believe it or not, was by Taylor Dane. It was the last 45 I bought. It was called Tell It to Your Heart, believe it or not. But that's the last 45 that I purchased and in a record store. Yes, it is. But that's a great tune by the Broadways. Who sold me that? I paid $10 for that copy from a guy in Philadelphia that polishes those 45s. I forget his name. It doesn't come. John something. Anyway, it'll come to me. John G here for a Saturday evening, spinning 1960s. Let's continue here. Can't tell you much about this next gal. This a female singer, but she has other releases on the Blue Rock label. She has it on Limelight Records, but I'm playing this one on Morris Levy's Roulette record label, produced and arranged by Lucci De Jesus. If you know who he is, I certainly don't. But her name is Little Rose Little. We go back to July 1967, Roulette Records for Little Rose Little, and her tune called You've Got the Love.
You got back the dawn before the sunrise. The
July 1967 release there for Little Rose Little on Morris Levy's Roulette record label. You've Got the Love. We got the love every Saturday from 10 to midnight right here on Top Shelf Oldies. Let's continue here for this artist from Pensacola, Florida originally, but he relocated to Detroit, Michigan. He was a member of a vocal group in 1959. They were called the Velvetones that recorded for the Deb label. Now, his first solo release, though, came out on the Columbia label in 1962. Has some pretty cool tunes on the Columbia label. But then in 1964, he moved over to the Columbia subsidiary OK Records. Had about 14 releases on OK. This is his 12th. And if I remember, he couldn't walk because when he performed, or Dick Clark had him on Where the Action Is, he would always be sitting down. I think maybe it was this song that he was doing in an auditorium. He was sitting in the seat and kind of turned to the side singing. I think it was this record, if I'm not mistaken. But this is his 12th of 14th on the OK label, written by Joey Brooks, produced by Ted Cooper, arranged by Herb Bernstein. This one bubbled under at number 124 on the Billboard Bubbling Under charts, but was a big number 4 on KDKO in Littleton, Colorado. We go to October 1967. Walter Jackson on OK, and his tune called My Ship Is Coming In.
Been so good to me, staying by my side through the bad times. All my dreams never came true somehow. All the things are gonna be different now, baby. Gonna make it this time. You can throw away that shabby dress, buy yourself the finest things in town, girl. Dry your eyes, we're celebrating. There's gonna be happiness waiting, baby. My ship, I know it's coming in, baby. Woman, I know my ship, it's coming in. Oh, won't it be fine? We're gonna make it this time. You stood by my side when things were bad. You helped me along the way. You wiped the tears of a big man about to cry, about the things that happened to him each day. I love you, girl. Is coming in.
October 67 release there for Walter Jackson. Walter Jackson, his rendition of the tune My Ship Is Coming In. Evidently, I do have the one by Jimmy Ratcliffe on the Aurora label. Some great records on that label, too. By the way, that's on the OK label. Unfortunately, that we lost Walter Jackson June 20th, 1983. Died of a brain hemorrhage. A lot of these singers are... well, just unfortunate. Thank goodness we have their music to remember them by. Johnny G here for a Saturday evening. It's 1960s 45s out of my collection. Let's continue here. And this next artist led a band in the Baltimore, Maryland area called Billy Joe and the Confidentials. Had a single in 1965 on the BJ label, and Billy Joe was really named Billy Joe Ash, and he did his first solo recording on the Paula label back in 1966 as Billy Joe Young. Now here is one on the Jewel label affiliated with that Paula label, and it's the first of two produced by Charlie Daniels, by the way. This one from May 1967, Billy Joe Young on Jewel. Give a listen to his tune. It's called Little Tin Soldier.
Soldier, wind him up and make him walk. Push the button on a little tin soldier and listen to him talk. Turn him on and turn him on. Turn him on. Turn him on and turn him on. Turn the key on the little tin soldier. Wind him up and make him walk. Push the button on the little tin soldier and listen to him talk. Turn the key on the little tin soldier. Wind him up and make him walk.
May 1967 release there for Billy Joe Young. Took a chance on that 45, 10 cents. You really can't go wrong with for records on the Jewel label for 10 cents. When I was buying big group harmony records, those kind of records, they flowed in for a dime. That's Little Tin Soldier, the first of two, actually produced by Charlie Daniels on that one. Program note, tomorrow evening, Ramtown Mike will be doing The Other Side of Ramtown from 9 to 1 a.m. It's not going to be midnight because that is when the clocks turn tomorrow evening. So Ramtown Mike will be in. So if you're hanging around just watching the ball drop, tune in to Top Shelf Oldies. Give a listen to Ramtown Mike tomorrow evening from 9 to 1 a.m. A special time tomorrow on the New Year's Eve rockin' here on Top Shelf Oldies. And it's almost time. I know somebody's birthday is now 1 minute away. We know who that person is. He's going to be 52. Is it 52 you're going to be tomorrow, Mr. Dave the Rave? But anyway, we're going to send this next record out to Dave the Rave because I know he's going to be looking for this next 45. This female singer was a member of the Dreamgirls, started back in 1959 originally. Now, a couple weeks ago, I played their 1962 Big Top release Great cover. Actually, it's the female version of "She's Mine, All Mine" by the Royal Jokers, but done by Bobby Smith and the Dreamgirls. "Mine, All Mine," a great record. Now, the lead singer, her real name is not Bobby Smith. Her real name is Elma Holman. And, of course, she changed it, or would be known as Bobby Smith and the Dreamgirls. But she had some solo releases, 2 solo releases, and they're good. American Arts, she had one, and the other is on the Bell label, and it's a recent addition to the Johnny G collection. And this one arranged by Bill Ramal. You see him a lot on the, was arranger for Diamond Records, but here he is arranging this one from October 1965. We'll send it out to the birthday boy. Dave the Rave turned officially right now 53 years old. We'll send it out to him. This is Bobby Smith on Bell, and the name of the tune is called "You Know I'll Be Around."
Now I'll be around when you want me back again, and I'll be around, you know I'll still be your friend. Your sweet talking lies only make me realize that you know I'll be around. Now I'll be around when you call me on the phone. You know I'll be there waiting all alone. You give me all your lies, and I believe them all the time. So you know I'll be around. You know, whenever you want me, baby, I'll be there. Your face, your eyes, your lips, you know I'll always care. So I'll be around the corner, around the bend. You just turn around, I'll be waiting at the very end. Anyway, anyhow, never lose me in a crowd, 'cause you know I'll be around. I'll be around. I'll be around. You never get rid of me. I'll be around.
October 1965 release there for Bobby Smith. Bobby Smith on the Bell label, "You Know I'll Be Around." We'll send it out to the birthday boy, Dave the Rave. Wish him a happy birthday, Mr. Dave the Rave. We continue here on Vinyl Treasure Overtime. Let's stay in Detroit for yet another female soul singer. Made her debut back in 1964 on the Thelma label, and has others on Rick Tick, Golden World, Revelot, and her name is Rose Batiste. And here is one she did for the Golden World record label, produced by Al Kent and Richard Morris. We go to January 1966. Miss Rose Batiste here on Golden World. The name of the tune is called "Sweetheart Darling."
Sweetheart, darling, I want you close to me. You mean the world to me. Stay by my side. Oh, please come nearer, nearer, baby, baby. My arms
January 66 release there on the Golden World label. Featured a couple records on the Golden World. Actually, I have more though, but we're going to sign off in a couple more records here. Rose Baptiste. Baptiste is her name. Sweetheart Darling is the name of that one. I remember buying that from Ken Thompson. And haven't seen Ken Thompson in quite a while. Hope he's doing well. I remember when I first started collecting, used to go to the Montvale Record Show. I forget the hotel there. And I remember I bought my first record from him was on the combo label by the Paramounts. I think it was on that purple label. Anyway, John G babbling on here. We're going to do a couple more 45s before we sign off. Now, I feature this next group quite often on my 50s and early 60s edition of the Vinyl Treasure Show. They're out of Harlem, New York. And lots of great releases on High Weiss's Old Town record label. And this one, interestingly enough, is written by Neil Diamond. I wonder if he ever recorded this. I don't know if he did. I don't think it was ever a single by Neil Diamond, but this group, The Solitaires, recorded it. It's actually the very last release of the Solitaires under the name Solitaires. And it came out on the MGM label. Again, written by Neil Diamond. It features the great Milton Love on lead. Let's give it a spin from February 1964. The Solitaires on MGM and their tune called Fool That I Am. That's a cool tune, February 1964. And Warren, I'm glad you have that 45. I don't think it's a cheapie. I don't think so, although I did get that one cheapie. I did. Those are the Solitaires, the great Milton Love on lead. Yes, Dave the Rave. Neil Diamond tune. I did say that. That is a cool tune. Fool That I Am. It's on the MGM record label. Well, that's going to do it for Johnny G and the Vinyl Treasure Show. I want to thank you for joining Johnny G, listening to these cool 60s 45s out of my collection. Again, we do it the last Saturday of every month. I play my 60s records, and I don't know the 60s as well as I know the 50s, but I have a lot of 60s records I still need to go through. I do, but I find some cool ones every time. I have a lot of fun going through the records. I do. So that's going to do it for tonight. I've been recording this one on the Ustream broadcaster, and you can go to my YouTube account site and you can check out all the shows there. I do post it up. I have this new webcam that Barbara brought. I don't like it. It's like too light. And I gotta figure out the settings here. I don't know if it's the exposure or what, but I don't know. I gotta check it out. But anyway, also you can go to my website, vinyl-treasures.net. You can stream or download the shows there. And again, that is, you can do that. And it's a lot of action going on. And thank you folks for all that. Thank you for all the requests that I get and tuning in. I really had a great time this year sharing my collection with you, the Top Shelf Oldies listeners. And we're gonna close the show tonight with a very interesting record that I really do like. And where is it as I lose my mind? Yeah, and I first heard this song watching an old American Bandstand show, and it was on his Raider Records segment sometime in 1967, around May of 67. And his name is Bob Youngs, and and this record first, though, came out on the World Pacific label, and it was slower, much slower, but it seems like they sped it up on the Mira label, and I think Dick Clark was featuring the release on the Mira label, and it's our closer tonight. This one charted on KFXM in San Bernardino, made it up to number 21 on those charts, and his name is Bob Youngs. It's from May 67, is on the Mira label is how you pronounce it, M-I-R-A, and the name of the tune is called Goodbye to Yesterday. It's actually appropriate to say goodbye to the year 2017 here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. So I just had a great year spinning original vinyl 45s for you, the Top Shelf Oldies listeners, and I'm so glad to do it. Thank you, Charlene, for all your help on all the shows this year. And tune in tomorrow. Dave the Rave will not be on. The Birthday Boy will not be on. Ramtown Mike will be on here, the other side of Ramtown, from 9 to 1 a.m. here on Top Shelf Oldies. And that's going to do it, folks. Want everybody to have a happy new year and a safe and happy week, and actually a safe year and a healthy year. That's really the main thing. Too many terrible things have gone on this year, unfortunately. So, but anyway, where health is first, happiness is second. That is for sure. But anyway, that's going to do it, folks, for Johnny G. Want everybody again to tune in next Saturday. I'll be back here from 10 to midnight, and actually I will be doing a special 60s show on January 24th. I think Ramtown Mike will be out, and I'll be filling in on a Wednesday night, and it'll be 3 hours, 9 to midnight. So tune in for that. It'll be coming in a Wednesday in the middle of January. Yes, it will. But anyway, that's going to do it, folks. Everybody have a happy new year. I'll see you here next Saturday. Just want to say, everybody, so long.